Well, there are a lot of positives in the budget. One must understand that there were certain things which were extremely important, which were left undone. Principal among them, I think, is the area of agriculture and the rural economy, which got short shrift in the budget. It is true, Finance Minister Sitaraman allocated rupees 1.52 lakh crore to the agriculture and allied sectors while presenting the budget. But if you look at it carefully, uh, there are certain sort of positive noises about the importance of research and development in agriculture sector, that there would be certain allocations for production, storage, and marketing of pulses and oil seeds. But the important thing to realize is this a sort of non-realization of what happened in the elections? If we see largely the opposition won from rural belts and semi-urban belts, where the distress in agriculture, where the distress of the rural economy was felt strongly. Though the finance minister's pledge to continue the interim budget proposals which were earlier on put out in February in regard to the farm economy, but you don't see that realization that it is the rural economy which is suffering intensely. There are no jobs. There is no money for investment in upgrading seeds, in upgrading the stock of the new crops being produced, uh, the the opportunities for the rural youth to branch out and take up new skills. These are not being attended to, and most of important that the purchasing power is not there with the rural folk, which ultimately is key to kick starting the economy. It is it has been amply proved, and all the FMCG companies are talking about it, how the purchasing power of the rural people has declined, and they are facing a lot of resistance in new purchases of uh, of normal all-time goods or family usage goods, consumer goods, which were earlier on selling better and now have slumped. So this reflects that the rural economy is really in bad shape, and it should have been addressed with more specific allocations, with more targeted spending, and maybe even more targeted transfer of funds directly into the bank accounts of those who are at the absolute bottom of the pyramid. So these schemes are there, but they are few and far between. 6,000 Kisan Yojana is there, 6,000 rupee Kisan Yojana, which is transferred in 3 or 4 installments. But these are not good enough. And really, the main thing which is holding back the economy today is the lack of spending power by the rural areas. This has not been addressed sufficiently. The other thing which should be mentioned is that there's been a lot of support in the budget for new projects and finance-backed support, especially to Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, which have backed the NDA and are almost allowing it to survive. It was so obviously political, these allocations. Why not the other states? Every state has a crisis point. But why have these two states been singled out? Is it to just shore up the majority which has been cobbled together because of the contribution of the NDA partners from these states? Well, I mean, if the budget is going to reflect that much of politics and the spending is going to be politically inspired, then it is definitely a negative, and one must mark down this budget on that point. Given the totality, this is not going to be one of those budgets which will be long remembered into the months ahead. With that, thank you very much for listening in. Thank you for the attention you have given.